Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on Variant, I talk about the Planet Hulk storyline. Welcome to Variant. We love comics more than I want a Nightwing hat. I actually saw one online recently, and I'm probably going to order it. I'm your host, Aris Quinones. Today we're debuting a brand new segment called The Pull List, which will basically be episodes where I break down and explain storylines in the world of comic books. So I figured I'd kick off our first Pull List episode by talking about one of the best Hulk storylines ever, Planet Hulk. The storyline was so popular it actually got its own animated movie, but I'll get into that more in a bit. Right now, let's roll a new segment bumper. The Planet Hulk storyline launched in April of 2006 and wrapped in June of 2007. It took place in the Incredible Hulk issues 92 through 105. It was written by the awesome Greg Pak and drawn by Carlo Pagulayan and Aaron Lopresti. There was also a special Planet Hulk Gladiator guidebook by Anthony Flamini and the storyline's main writer Greg Pak, similar to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe dealing with the characters and races and cultures within the storyline. So it's a cool way for people to get more in-depth info about the story. For those of you who don't know what the Planet Hulk storyline is about, in summary, the Hulk gets trapped on another planet by the Illuminati, where he overthrows their emperor and becomes their new king. But before I go into detail about the storyline, let's see what the writer of the story, Greg Pak, had to say about what went into the story creatively.
What went into it creatively? How did it come about? Because it's like a really original story for Hulk, and since like nothing's kind of really been done with that before. He's going to, this whole new planet, he's fighting the Red King and all that stuff. So, a little synopsis of the story and or creatively, more so, what went into that in World War Hulk.
Well, when I was pulled onto the Hulk, they had the idea of shooting the Hulk into space and sending him to an alien planet where he'd become a gladiator. And that was basically what was pitched to me. Okay. It's like, do you want to work on this? I was like, yes!
Hulk's a gladiator, I'm going to do this!
Yes, and then they just cut me loose, you know what I mean? My partner in crime was Mark Paniccio, who's an amazing editor. I just love working with him, and I worked with him for years and years and years. And so Mark and I would get together at various pizza joints in Midtown Manhattan near the Marvel offices, and we just talk through this thing, and we cackle and get really excited, and then I go home and type up these outlines. And so it was my job to figure out what this big story was really about, you know what I mean? So we know Hulk's going to be a gladiator on an alien planet. What's really going on here? What's the emotional story? I mean, what it really is, spoiler alert, is monster to hero. It's how a monster becomes a hero. It's the Hulk who is hated and feared on planet Earth because he's too strong and too angry, too dangerous. He finds himself on a planet where his strength is a virtue, where his anger is a virtue, where they need him. It was a huge epic story, and it was a blast, and I got to create a whole like the ecosystem of the world, the politics and the religion and everything else about this world we got to develop from scratch. It was a huge amount of fun.
Now we know Greg's thoughts going into Planet Hulk, but let's talk about the actual story. It all starts in the prelude to Planet Hulk, which takes place in the Incredible Hulk issues 88 through 91. After Hulk's rampage, where most of Las Vegas was destroyed, Hulk has exiled himself into the northern wilderness in an attempt to keep him from harming anyone. Banner is approached by Nick Fury for a mission that will have Hulk go into space to destroy a rogue sentient Hydra satellite with the capability of detonating every nuke on Earth. Banner agrees, and as the Hulk is sent into space to deal with the satellite. There the Hulk finds a dead crew, and the computer takes a humanoid form. The machine appears to be able to match Hulk's strength, but the Hulk is able to destroy it because, well, he's the Hulk. Hulk is infuriated when he discovered that Fury lied to him about the satellite, which is actually one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s. A message begins playing of the members of the Illuminati, which is a group consisting of Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, Namor, and Doctor Strange. Only Charles Xavier was absent. The message tells Hulk that he has been tricked and is being exiled to an uninhabited far-off planet where he cannot hurt anyone and finally live in peace. The ship was then sucked into a portal and deposited Hulk on the violent planet Sakaar. So that's the gist of the prelude to the Planet Hulk storyline, but now let's get into the main course, the actual Planet Hulk story. The story starts with the Hulk traveling through the wormhole. This left the Hulk weakened and able to sustain injury. Unable to resist, Hulk is captured almost immediately upon arrival to Sakaar and fixed with an obedience disc, then is forced to become a gladiator in the Great Arena for the viewing pleasure of the evil Red King of Sakaar. And yes, you heard me correctly, the Hulk becomes a mother freaking gladiator. That alone makes the story amazing. Hulk also forms a war-bound pact with his fellow gladiators, Meek, No Name Brood, Elo Caffey, Lavinsky, Heroim, and Korg. And yes, I know, I probably butchered some of those names. But hey, even the people at Marvel who made the animated movie didn't know how to pronounce all those alien names, which reminds me of why Greg Pak got to consult on the Planet Hulk movie.
They made a Marvel animated movie based on...
So how was that? Like, we're gonna make an animated movie off your story.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I got to be a consultant on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they wanted to know how to pronounce all the different alien names. So that was my chief contribution, was explaining the pronunciation. No, I thought they did a great job. job.
Right.
It was incredibly exciting seeing that thing come out.
See, I'm not the only one who butchered those names. Hulk ended up becoming a popular hero for his actions in the arena, and a group of insurgents try to recruit the Hulk for their cause. The Hulk declines, but Elo chooses to go with the rebels, and during their next gladiator fight, Lavinsky is killed. As the others come closer to winning their freedom, the Red King's lieutenant, Kyera, arranges for them to fight the Silver Surfer, who is also controlled by an obedience disc. During the battle, the Hulk breaks the Silver Surfer's disc, freeing him. The Silver Surfer then destroys all the obedience discs for everyone in the arena. As he leaves Sakaar, he offers to return Hulk to Earth, but Hulk chooses to stay behind. The Hulk and his Warbound are now on the run from the Red King and are hunted by Kyera. As they travel through villages, Hulk finds followers who believe him to be the foretold savior, Sakaar's son. Hulk denies this title, and Kyera finally confronts the Hulk, but their battle is interrupted by the invasion of the Spikes that causes monstrous mutations and death to anyone they touch. Kyera calls the Red King for assistance and learns that he actually ordered the Spikes to be deployed there. Horrified at what her king has done, Kyera then joins the Hulk. Hulk leads a raid on the Red King's capital, culminating in a one-on-one battle between the two of them. The Red King is defeated and Hulk is named the new king. He takes Kyera for his wife, and the two are able to broker peace among various conflicts which had festered under the Red King. Kyera becomes pregnant with Hulk's child, who we later know as Scar. That's right, Hulk got real freaky naughty. Fun fact, Mr. Pack actually has a soft spot for Kyera.
You also got to create a lot of characters. You co-created a lot of characters for the thing. So which one was your favorite? Because there were several.
Oh, probably Kyera, who
Okay.
is the Hulk's queen. I mean,
Yes.
she starts off as his big opponent, and then they eventually, find their way to each other. But yeah, I mean, she was a shadow warrior,
Right.
is what we called them on this planet, and she has the powers of the old strong, which is like a tectonic-based power.
Right.
But she was tremendous, So I mean, probably that character. Also, I mean, I loved Korg too. Korg is a stone man from Saturn, from the original Thor origin
he
story.
looks really cool.
A Cronin, but he's a brick, and he's like the Hulk's sort of right-hand man on the planet, and I'm a sucker for that character too.
Everything seemed too good to be true for the Hulk and his new queen, but things changed when the ship that brought Hulk to Sakaar began to emit warnings that its power systems were failing and was going to self-destruct. Hulk was not able to send the ship into the atmosphere in time, and an explosion destroyed virtually all life, including his wife Kyera, and set the planet up for its demise once again. Hulk is found by the Warbound, some of the planet's only survivors, and with them plots a course back to Earth to seek out the Illuminati to make them pay for destroying their paradise, as they're the ones who built the ship. And that, my comic comrades, leads us to the follow-up storyline, World War Hulk, which I will talk about in a future pull list episode, but I will say there was an awesome Hulkbuster fight scene in that storyline that I actually brought up to Greg Pak.
Hulkbuster, Iron Man fights Hulk briefly. So obviously now that's a big thing because Avengers, Age of Ultron, everyone loves it. But for you, did you just like the Hulkbuster armor, or is it just this is my chance to write Hulkbuster versus Hulk, or did it just kind of happen?
I don't think we ever had any discussion about it. It was just sort of like, okay, Iron Man's going to fight the Hulk. We're going to have some Hulkbuster armor. You know what I mean?
Let's do it, yeah.
Let's do it. I mean, my big contribution was. Because John Romita Jr. drew that and designed that armor. It's incredible. My big contribution was like there's a certain point when he punches the Hulk using his Hulkbuster armor, and then he had jets in his elbow to really propel that punch. And I think that showed up in one of the movies at some point. So I take full credit.
And that will wrap up our first pull list segment. But if there are any other storylines you want me to cover in future episodes, let me know in the comments. When you buy a domain name from domain.com, you get the power to influence and control what people find when they search for you online. No domain extension will help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name. Domain.com is affordable, reliable, and easy to use. The guys at domain.com gave Variants an awesome offer. Get 15% off domain.com's already affordable domain names and web hosting when you use the coupon code Variant at checkout. So when you think domain names, think domain.com. First up for Wednesday, August 26th, we have Spawn issue 255. I've really been loving this reboot of sorts they've been doing with Spawn. If you're a fan of the character, you need to start reading this title. Here we have Ant-Man Last Days issue 1. With the success of the recent Ant-Man movie, lots of people are wanting to read Ant-Man comics, and this right here is your chance to jump on from the first issue. Now we have Justice League of America issue 3. A new world religion has appeared seemingly overnight, sick people are healed, and the world suddenly knows peace. So what is wrong with this picture? The Justice League is about to find out. And finally, we have Superman issue 43. Superman's very existence is threatened, and Lois Lane must make the toughest choice of her life. And that'll do it for another episode of Variant. But remember, you can always like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics, or you can follow this face on Twitter at Eris_Quinones. And if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to our channel. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics.
You're going to be writing the Hulk again in the totally awesome Hulk.
Yes.
Right now, what can we expect from that? Is there anything you can tell us?
I
Just a
can't
synopsis.
really tell you anything yet because it's a big secret. But well, I can tell you Frank Cho is drawing. I'm
is
writing.
amazing. He's amazing.
I can tell you that it's a brand new Hulk.
Okay.
I can tell you that
He's totally awesome.
he is totally awesome. I can tell you the big crazy thing is that he loves being the Hulk.
Okay.
And that sounds awesome, but that may also create huge problems for everybody else in the Marvel universe.
Right.
So it's a big fun story. It's a huge fun story, and I can't wait till you guys till we can show you more.